Hi everyone, welcome to the Muster Drill. I'm Scott, and as much as I hate to say this, if things do not change, cruising is doomed in 2022. Hi everyone, welcome back. So, happy new year to everyone, 2022, and to my disappointment, cruising doesn't look any better at least in the short term for 2022 than it was in 2021. I really felt like by now cruising would be, in a much better place and that things will be looking up, but instead they're getting worse. And I see all these headlines that are representing all of these new realities for cruising and for the ships when, they're setting sail. And, I'm just going to take a moment here and just let some of them pop up. Just not, it's just not where I thought we'd be. So, I want to clarify what I've been talking about in my last couple of videos. What I've been doing is I've been responding to, in my last couple of videos, I've been responding to headlines that I've been seeing from from most of the news media, and it's been echoed by a few passengers who, namingly in my last video, I had a news clip from these two passengers. So many people have been pointing the finger at the cruise lines, and I just really want to clarify that when I say I think the passengers are to blame more than the cruise lines, I'm not attacking fellow cruisers. I'm not saying that people who cruise are terrible people. What I'm saying is the cruise industry was shut down for a very long time, and a lot of us were really worried about not only if and when cruising would start again, but how it would look once it started again. So the cruise lines went to a great deal of trouble and expense to employ experts and to work with the CDC and to develop these, protocols. Not so that cruising could be like, this terrible, horrible, prison-like experience, that, didn't represent what we had all come to love about cruising before cruising began. They spent a lot of time developing this stuff, and then they put it out there and said to you passengers to come on board, and these are the things that we suggest. This is not a prison ship. We're not going to go running around yelling and screaming at you, and we're not going to have guards stationed everywhere to say, to force people into following this, but rather, we all love cruising. We all want to be cruising again. We want cruising to be a safe and, awesome and fun experience the way we all remember it. So here's some things that everyone should be doing in order to ensure that we're not seeing headlines like we are, where more and more islands are being forced to deny ships coming in to try to protect their local populations. In the United States, we keep seeing and hearing that our healthcare system is, really at its, at the end of its rope with capacity and ability to handle all of these cases and all of this COVID related things. You can imagine what these small island nations are dealing with as far as, trying to protect their populations. They don't have the infrastructure that we have. They don't have the capabilities that we have. So they're really being forced to make this hard decision. They want us coming. They want us spending money there. They want to see us coming back, and they want us to contribute to their economies, because most of them are based, most of their economies are based on on cruise ships coming. But instead, all these people are getting on board and they're not following the protocols, along with what we are now seeing, in my opinion, is a lot of people are taking antigen tests, and these antigen tests are missing a lot of positive cases. I'm going to be sailing on the Carnival Magic here on the 9th. So I'm going to be on the Carnival Magic, and I'm part of the Carnival Magic's Facebook group for this sailing, and I'm going to throw up this screenshot here from this, from that Facebook group, where there's a member who's suggesting that you irrigate your nostrils with saline or peroxide or whatever for days before your cruise so that you can beat the test. And then there's a lot of comments about it and so on, and I'm not going to throw all that stuff up, but I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? This kind of stuff existed before with Noro. People are like, hey, take something that will help you with the symptoms of Noro so you don't get trapped in your room. I mean, Noro and COVID aren't even in the same ballpark with each other, and I just am... this is what frustrates me so much, because I mean, come on, people, we want to cruise, we want to get on these ships, we want to go places, we want to have fun, and we, but yet we don't want to do what is needed and expected of us so that we can continue to do this. More and more islands are going to be forced to deny us access to, to their country. And the cruising is going to be forced to continue to amend the policies and so forth. Carnival has already said that if you miss a port, we're not going to compensate you anymore. They had been giving onboard credit, but now they're not going to do it, because, I mean, how much are they really supposed to, take it on the arm for that? So, and this all comes down to us. Right? It all comes down to us as the passengers. We have to start following these rules and these suggestions so that we can keep cases down on the ship, so that we can keep sailing and keep going to these islands and keep having a great time doing this thing that we love, cruising. And the last thing I'm going to talk about here is, I have a client, I've mentioned before, I'm a travel agent, and I have clients right now who are in Jamaica, and they did their standard 24-hour test before returning to the United States. It's a requirement to return to the United States from, via, by air. They did their 24-hour test, and 2 of them tested positive. So now they're quarantined. So they've been moved to what they refer to as the COVID cell block in at their resort, and they're in a quarantined area of the hotel. Most travel insurance policies are only in effect during your travel dates. Be able to sell them a policy that extends 7 days past the last date of their travel date. But they have to quarantine for 10 days. So any expenses that they incur, including flight price changes and change fees and so on and everything else, PCR tests, the resorts are paying for antigen tests, but if you test positive, then you need a PCR test. So they have to pay for that out of their pocket. And if any of that stuff occurs past 7 days from their last day of travel date, they have to pay it all on their own. So moving forward, I mean, I know we're right in the beginning of 2022, and I really am hopeful that in the coming weeks and months that this whole situation changes around and for the better. And I really think that if a lot of us, way more than what I have personally observed, start just doing what we need to do while we're on these ships, I really think that we can see an end to it. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. And then don't forget to click the subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. You click it once and you're done, and it'll really help us out a lot. And then don't forget to click the notification bell so that you know every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.